Number 6. In question number 6, there was given a simply supported beam which is having a rectangular cross section. Simply supported beam means one end should be hinged, the other end should be with a roller support. At least one of the support should be a roller support to avoid the failure because of the thermal expansion. The cross section of the beam is in the form of rectangle having width b and the depth is d. If you look at from the side view, the cross section of the shaft will be beam will be visible. Now they mentioned in the problem a central load of magnitude capital W. Central load, whenever they indicated, that means it is acting exactly at the mid span. That means from the supports, this is at a distance of L by 2, this is also at a distance of L by 2. The total length of the beam will be L. Because of the central load, from the longitudinal axis, the beam was deflected by a magnitude of delta. The delta is the deflection. We know the deflected curve can be called as elastic curve or deflected curve, where delta is deflection of the beam. Generally that is in very less, that will not be visible to our naked eye, will be in millimeter generally. The point is, if the cross section of the beam is interchanged, the dimensions are interchanged. Interchanged means the dimension D is in horizontal position, the dimension B will be in vertical position. There is no change in magnitude of cross section, but there is a change in orientation. So if you change the orientation of the cross section, then what will be the deflection of the beam in terms of delta we need to calculate. For simply supported beam, whenever the central load which is acting exactly in the middle, there maximum deflection obviously will get at the center. Let us say I am taking this point as a B, this point as A, this point as a B, and this point is C. Exactly at C, the value is given as WL cubed divided by 48 EI. How this formula came into picture, that everything I am going to discuss. And what are the assumptions required for this question, that also I am going to discuss. If you look at the assumption, the beam is isotropic, homogeneous and continuous material, that already applicable. But one extra assumption is also there. The deflected curve or elastic curve should be in the form of arc of a circle. This is one more assumption you need to remember. Now, before going to discuss this derivation, first I am going to solve this question. So from this analysis, from this formula directly we can say delta is inversely proportional to, because there is no change in W value, there is no change in length, there is no change in material, that means E also constant. Orientation is changed 1 by I. So as we already know, I can be written as a BD cube by 12. So 12 divided by BD cube. For this orientation, let us say this is case 1 I am taking, and this is case 2. For case 1, the delta is inversely proportional to the product of BD cube. For case 2, the delta is inversely proportional to 1 by, orientation is changed, DB cube. Here, DB cube. Let us say this thing I am taking as a delta, this one I am taking as delta dash. This delta dash need to be calculated in terms of delta. So substitute here, delta dash divided by delta is equal to 1 by DB cube divided by 1 by BD cube. So BD cube divided by DB cube. So BB gets cancelled out, DD gets cancelled out. This thing will get it as D by B whole square. So the delta dash is given as D by B whole square in terms of, this is the correct answer for this question. But if you know this formula, then only we can calculate. Or if you know this relation, then only we can calculate. How this formula came? For that I am using one method called moment area method. One of the simplest method here, moment area method. According to moment area method, the deflection at any point is given as 1 by EI times of area of bending moment diagram about, not area, moment of area of bending moment diagram about non-zero slope. To understand this thing, I am going to draw the bending moment diagram for simply supported beam. Point A, the bending moment is 0, At point C, the bending moment is maximum. Again, at point B, the bending moment is 0. So only point load is there. So bending moment varies linearly. So point B, this is at point C. The maximum bending moment is given as WL by 4. So here, the deflection at point C need to be calculated. And according to this moment area method, the area of the bending moment diagram, moment has to be taken. So if you want to take the moment, the perpendicular distance, you need to know that moment is also about non-zero slope point. So here at point A, slope is not 0. Non-zero slope point. You can take about B also. B is also non-zero slope point. So in between these 2 points, whatever the bending moment is there, calculate that area. So the total area of this triangle is given as half multiplied by maximum bending moment is W L by 4 multiplied by width is given as L by 2. From A to C, width is L by 2. So this is the area of the bending moment diagram in between these 2 points. Now take the perpendicular distance. So the centroid of this area is lying here. This is 2/3 of, from the apex, 2/3 of that length, L by 2. So 2 by 3 multiplied by L by 2. So 1 by EI times of this value. 1 by EI times of that value. So if you find this equation, there you will get 2 gets cancelled out. WL cube divided by 2 times of 4, 8 times of 3, 8 times of 2, 16 times of 3, 48 times of EI. So this is the maximum deflection formula. So this is how we are going to prove it. So the method we applied is moment area method. Moment area method will be applied for not only to calculate the deflection, to calculate the slope also. Right? If any one of the question came, then there also I am going to discuss this method. So these are the assumptions. This deflected curve is assumed to be arc of a circle. One of the derivative type of question. Just orientation is changed. Now, if you look at the observation, the observation is if the depth of the cross section D dimension is greater than B, there, if D is greater than B, then this factor will be more than 1. If this factor more than 1 means delta dash is greater than delta. So at the time of condition, the first case will be preferred such a way that less deflections are there, so life will be more. So case 1 is preferable. For example, if dimension D is less than width, at the time of condition this factor is less than 1, that means delta dash is less than delta. The second case, less deflection is there, so more life will be there. Keep it in mind. So case 2 will be preferred. So generally for the beam rectangular cross section, in vertical position more dimension has to be there compared to the horizontal position. So this is the economical condition if D is greater than B. This is economical if B is greater than D. Right? This is one of the important observation you need to know.